Welcome back to the Blister and Muck podcast. I'm Jenny Mason, your host and the creator of the Blister and Muck series. This week, Blister's lies are worse than a secret bell tower food stash. To be clear, these lies are supreme. You might be thinking, what could be more stupendous than lying about hiding pastries in the bell tower, which ultimately led to a wharf rat attack? Well, I'll tell you what's worse than a cache of dishonest pastry. How about a slice of key lime pie? Or a batch of lima beans? Or even a bowl of ethically slippery lye cheese? As bad as those dishes are, Blister's lies are even worse. They're so bad, they put the licing on the cake. I know you think I'm exaggerating. You think it's impopsicle that Blister's appetite for lies could reach all the way to infinity. That would be insanity. I should be more compassionate to poor Blister. Well, I'm afraid I must disagree with you, because when we left off, Blister had just escaped from Dr. Van Sangfroid's wicked laboratory in the ramshackle castle. He'd convinced Seltzer and Horchata to take him to the bell tower, where he could help Muck relocate Rip the Circus Panther before Yana's army of ORBSs might find him and trap him. As we pick up the action, Blister's entire circle is about to discover just how deep his dishonesty can reach. Is it possible he's never even shared a single grain of truth with them? My producers are urging me to lay off these corny food puns. But I can't. I'm on a corn quest. I am cornfident I can continue to conduct this entire cornversation consequence-free, considering how conservation of puns rarely kicks off controversy, because generally we find convenient consensus rather than conflicting confrontation. And for conveying these contributions, don't I deserve congratulations instead of contempt? Episode 8. The Two-Way Blade. Moonlight greased the surfaces of buildings, homes, and the rivulets far below Blister's dangling feet and tail. Horchata and Seltzer clutched his arms. They flapped and wheezed, but they did not complain. Bouncing and jostling in the frosty air paste, Blister wondered about the glass jar holding his thoughts. Don't think about all the creatures you care about, Yana had instructed. A seemingly simple task. Excepting himself, there were no other creatures he cared about. If anything, the jar should have bubbled with tiny motion pictures starring him and him alone. Why had it filled with looping reels of everyone he knew? Why did so many of the bubbles contain memory footage of Muck? Perhaps Yana's contraption extracted the opposite of what she asked for? Perhaps all those weeks he'd spent hooked up to the prototype in the library had altered his mind, tricked it, or worse, damaged it. Explanations eluded Blister. He told himself the shivering, quaking across his muscles was due to the cold. The sickness swirling in his belly was from the hectic swaying of the pigeon's flight path. The crummy, busted cathedral emerged on the horizon. Hope and dread twisted in the back of his throat. The birds were preparing to land when Blister saw the faintest glow of candlelight in the slim window slits. "Oh no!" Seltzer moaned. What? Blister and Horchata asked. All three of us will nae fit through the window. You're right, Horchata said. We'll have to chuck him.
Chuck him? Him who? Me?
Blister squeaked. The belfry swelled large. The trio sped at it. On 3, Seltzer said. Blister's alignment with the window jounced back and forth between wing flaps. Wall, window, window. 1, Horchata counted.
Might I propose a second plan?
Blister implored. 2, Seltzer said.
Don't do this. Bad idea.
3, both pigeons exclaimed. They unhinged their bony feet and slung Blister forward. For a moment, he drifted towards the window casement. Then gravity yanked him down. He shut his eyes and heard the strangest shrieking noise, which he logically concluded was not his own screaming, but rather the wind roaring through his ears as he plummeted hundreds of feet to the ground. This was it. He was going to be pulverized. He'd be just another puddle on the street. But all too soon, the ground scuffed beneath his feet and knees. He toppled and tumbled and rolled. When he sat up and looked about, he was inside the bell tower. The rush of his entry fluttered the candle flames. Muck, Spindle, and Rip jumped up from their previously comfortable tete-a-tete. Spindle ran circles around Blister. Muck helped him to his feet. Oh, Blister, are you in a copacetic condition? Why is your fur fringed with burn marks? You have several serious scrapes here. Come over to the wash basin, and I'll have you near as new in no time. Stop, Rip ordered. Surprises awaken the killer inside me. The panther's eyes were indeed black marbles of crazed instinct. He circled the motionless rats, and gradually his pupils shrank back to slits. He grinned at Blister, his fangs forming picket fences. Are you nuts? How did you fly through the window?
That would be our doing,
Horchata panted from her perch in the rafters.
Sorry about the rough landing, Blister.
Seltzer scrutinized Rip. So you're the panther everyone is looking for. Hectic happenings indeed. Muck dipped a strip of cloth in the thimble basin. With excess water wrung out, he passed the cloth to Blister. My curiosity calibrates with Rip's. I must ask you, Blister, are you nuts? Is it true you derelictly disobeyed Puss's orders at the factory? You put yourself and all the other operatives in a hazardous habitat.
I had to,
Blister decreed, with Spindle roosted on his shoulder.
If I hadn't, Rip would most likely be in a cage in Dr. Van Sangfroid's lab, having his brains drained right now.
Get serious. Rip wrapped his tail around his paws. Who would want my brain?
I'll start at the beginning so everyone is on the same page,
Blister said. As he spoke, Muck cleaned his cuts and scrapes with the cloth. Spindle wrapped each injury in fluffy web bandages. 2 Dr. Van Sangfroids? Muck marveled when Blister concluded.
Yep.
But the one we've been trying to find all this time is the daughter, Yana? Seltzer asked.
Uh-huh.
Blister nodded and scritched Spindle's itchy spots.
She plans to take over the world with an army of women turned into meganimals?
You got it, Blister said. And house cats are helping her? Rip cringed. House cats creep me out. Freaks of nature. Something went wrong in their brains when they decided to live indoors with people. And while we're talking about brains, Your fascinating story didn't answer my question. Why go after my brain? Why would Yana trek all the way to the circus to steal me? Why not take the lion or the tiger from the zoo? You raise a good point, Seltzer said. He eyed Blister for the full explanation.
Beats me,
Blister shrugged and put the spider on his shoulder.
She never talks about panthers when I'm around.
Horchata candy-caned her head and neck. So, you've been around Yana a lot? Not just tonight? Panic Ferris-wheeled inside Blister's chest.
No, just 2 times tonight. Once at the factory and a second time in her lab. She never explained why Rip was so important.
Muck took his turn with a question. You mentioned all those vile vials containing animal essences, but that's not what she took from you. She took your bubbles?
My thoughts and memories, or I guess just copies of them because I haven't forgotten any of them.
Why extract essence from others but not you? Why would she milk memories from you?
Because she wanted to find Madame Putresca's caverns.
Blister's answer provoked a gasp from his audience.
I think Yana wants to drink all the essence of all the animals that exist right now so that she can transform into a meganimal.
Thus her unguent urgings at the circus, Muck concluded. I remember her plying Putresca to help heal the animal kingdom. Oh, what a foul female! Sinister scientist, corrupt chemist, diabolical doctor, Agatha-cacological alchemist.
Whoa, hey, watch your language, mister. There are birds and felines present.
Blister rubbed Muck's heaving shoulders. Spindle scuttled onto Muck's head and massaged the rat's temples. Abundant apologies. Muck paced away his rage, shoulders hunched, paws clenched, teeth gritted. Horchata leaned a whisper into Blister's ear. What does it mean? Whatever it was.
No idea,
Blister shrugged. It occurs to me, Seltzer said, that if Yana made off with a jar full of your thoughts and memories, then she now knows the precise location of Madame Putresca's caverns. Am I right? What are we doing wasting time gabbing? We have to warn her. Horchata flapped to the window, ready to rocket across the city.
Relax, Blister said. I have a plan.
Exuberant expectations. I knew you would. Muck pretended to pelt punches into Blister's ribs. Go on then, let's hear your prudent procedure and proceed.
I say, when the sun comes up, let's all go to the train station and leave this dung heap of a city. Let's start over. Forget your order obligations, he said to the pigeons.
To Rip, he said,
forget your circus captivity.
To Muck,
forget the family that never let you be yourself. In a new place, we can all be anyone or anything. What do you say?
Rip nodded. That sounds very good. The others blinked. What about all those creatures taking refuge in the caverns? Horchata asked. And all the rescued lab animals. They were en route to the caverns when we departed. They could be headed into a trap. Good point, Rip said and scowled at Blister. If we do nothing, they'll all be caught, captured, and caged, Muck said. Blister scoffed.
Cockroach casserole. Madame Putresca is perfectly capable of defending herself and her caverns. She doesn't need us getting in the way. So come on, who's with me?
Forget it, Blister, Seltzer said as he edged away. Horchata followed his lead.
Fine. Let's go, Muck, Blister said.
While I firmly fathom the benefits of your plan, I cannot condone its shortcomings. We really must help Madame Putresca.
I see, Blister exhaled. Come here, Spindle.
When he patted his legs to summon the spider, the arachnid hid between Muck's shoulders. Every inch of Blister's skin locked like armor.
Okay, fine. No problem. Looks like it's you and me, Rip.
Sorry, Blister. Rip uncurled his black, serpentine tail and strolled across the belfry.
You've got to be kidding. You don't give a whisker about Putresca and all the other creatures.
Rip rubbed his cheek along the corner of a candlebox.
True, but I really don't like trains.
How about we postpone these travel plans? Horchata coaxed. Let's make sure Putresca and the entire rescue syndicate are safe. Then we can consider relocating.
Great idea,
Seltzer said.
Let's snuff out Jana van Singfreud once and for all. Then we can...
Forget it.
Blister logged his arms across his middle.
If there's one thing you learn as a tough tale on the streets, it's this. You get one chance to escape a trap. Well, I already escaped. I'm not going back. I'm going forward. And if none of you wants to join me, so be it. Get going. Not a moment to spare. Hurry along. Toodaloo.
The pigeons sneered.
Toodaloo to you too.
Horchata nodded to Muck. See you at the caverns. The birds hopped off the window casement and flapped away.
Don't forget to pack your important papers.
Rip plucked the telegram out of the candlebox he'd been rubbing. He dropped it like a leaf at Blister's feet. Oh, Blister! Muck stopped at the top stair and frowned. Is this one of Madame Putresca's messages? I say, old chap, bad form. I know you think this operative occupation is all irrelevant idleness, but I must underscore the value of their valor. Give it here. I'll take responsibility for its delivery. Before Muck could seize the paper, Blister flicked it off the ground and clutched it behind his back.
It's got nothing to do with Madame Putresca or operatives. It's, just some trash.
It's a telegram for you,
Rip told Muck. He resumed his seat like one about to watch a play at the theater. His tail tapped the ground. For me? Muck's face sloped with confusion.
It most certainly is not that,
Blister said. You mean the one I've been waiting for? From my family?
No.
Yes.
Blister glowered at the panther. Rip grinned. When did it arrive? Muck reached for the telegram, but Blister retreated.
Not long ago.
What are you saying? It arrived days ago. He's been hiding it from you.
Rip confessed, as if reporting the weather conditions. Muck wrapped his tail around his paws. But why do you have it?
They gave it to me by mistake is all. They must have confused us, you know?
Blister's shoulders slouched lower and lower for reasons he could not explain.
He arranged for Fleet to give it to him and not to you,
Rip added.
Hang on,
Blister shouted.
You don't know that. You don't even know Fleet.
I was at the zoo when you told him to do you this favor. You didn't know I was there, up in a tree, watching, listening.
Rip casually licked one paw. Muck frowned. Why did you force Fleet to give you my telegram?
I didn't want any news to shock you or upset you. Like I told Fleet, I wanted to be the one to deliver it to you. As your friend. That's my job.
Oh, how sweet. Now tell him how you were going to tear it up.
Don't you have a hairball to cough up?
Blister snarled at the panther, who shrugged. Blister, how could you? For many moments, Blister's mouth trouted, open, shut, open, shut. Almost out of habit, both rats turned to Rip for the answer. The panther swabbed the moistened paw across his face and around his ears several times before he realized he had an audience. He blinked and said,
Don't look at me. I have no idea why he would do such a thing.
Give me the telegram. Muck extended one paw.
Muck, listen to me. I never...
Hand over that confounded correspondence, you tawdry tough-tail! Muck shouted so loud, his voice echoed around the belly of the bell. He stretched his paw further, revealing the agitated trembling of his whole body. He was a stone tower about to topple. Blister perceived a similar shaking from deep within. Once again, he sensed that trembling dam in his heart, straining to hold back a tremendous flood of who knew what. He surrendered the crumpled telegram. Muck read it, wiped the back of his paw across his eyes, and forged a weary path to the stairs. Spindle followed, close on his heels.
Spindle, Muck, wait!
The words shot out in a jumble, less a command and more like the involuntary noise you make when you grab an unexpectedly hot panhandle.
Muck, I didn't want you to go to Europe. That's why I hid the telegram. I didn't want you to go.
Muck snuffled.
You didn't read the entire message, did you? Of course not. You regularly relegate reading.
Muck wadded the telegram and snowballed it at Blister, who caught it and stretched the paper flat. The conclusion of the message, that which he had mistaken for additional mushy sentiment, was an invitation for the honorable hero housing McAllister to join the family in Europe for rousing revels. Blister lurched several steps forward. He could sense there were more words trying to make their way out of his mouth. Words that were appropriate in such situations, as when one has acted in error and would like to make amends. But he neither knew what they were, nor had any practice speaking them. The words clogged as a result. Like a traffic cop, Muck stop-signed one paw. Blister adhered to his shadow.
No, Blister, this is where we part ways.
Muck wiped his eyes again, moistening the fur on his face. The dam quaked as the floodwaters rammed with all their might, but Blister managed a casual tone when he said,
Oh, okay, sure. No problem. You just got some pretty big news. No doubt you want some time to yourself. A portion of privacy. A section of seclusion. A quota of quietude.
The butter-blonde rat descended the dark stairwell. Spindle scurried over to Blister, who stooped to scoop him up. Spindle bit the rat's paw and raced out of sight down the stairs. Rip trotted casually after them.
Thanks a lot,
Blister growled at him, clutching his wound.
You're so welcome.
Now we see what happens when a rat subsists on lies. I hope that now you can appreciate my warnings from before. Blister has broken trust with every creature that ever cared for him. Why? Because he preferred to bury the truth. It's such a huge disappointment. The whole predicament makes me yearn for the good old days when rats, pigeons, and a spider could hang out on rainy nights and play wingding. I guess you could say I'm feeling nostalgic. Nonetheless, the question remains, Chow, could Blister do such a thing to Muck? Chow, will he earn back everyone's trust? I can only hope a solution will Turnip. But Wheat talked about this before. In order to see a significant change, Blister might need to reassess his commitment to the one-for-one and none-for-all lifestyle. Tune in next time to find out if he adopts a new philosophy. Will he re-orange his priorities and summon his butter angels? In the meantime, stop by blisterandmuck.com, where I've left a trove of links to hilarious food fun videos for you to enjoy. While you're there, you can use the contact bubble to tell me what you think will happen next. Know any food jokes better or worst than this? What do you call a flying bagel? A plain bagel? You'll never miss an episode of this thrilling madcap caper when you subscribe to the show at blisterandmuck.com. Will we send you urgent, buy now before they're gone forever emails for Blister and Muck branded hair care products? Nope. Will we send you a non-stop slew of discount codes for Seltzer and Horchata's newly released memoir, The Impeccables? Spy games and true tales from the world's top tail feathers? Nope. Even though it currently tops the Black Rust Times bestseller list? No. We'll only send you a delightful email as soon as the newest episode releases. Having trouble finding the perfect holiday gift for your beloved family or friends? Check out the excellent Rations in the Blister and Muck gift shop. These made in the USA hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and masks ship from my hometown of Durango, Colorado. And I include an exclusive audible surprise from the entire Blister and Muck crew. A portion of every purchase helps cover the costs of music, sound effects, web hosting, and more. You also support this show when you give it some stars or a positive review on whatever app or platform you use to listen along. And if you make a large enough donation to the show, I can quit my jobs and take up this podcast full time so that no more episodes in this third and final season will be delayed. Special thanks to Roland Rudzitis for serving up the Blister and Muck theme song. Additional music from Komiku, Kevin MacLeod, Montplaisir, and John Bartman. Creepy sounds from Mike Koenig and Daniel Simon. All other sounds from the public domain. Always at the top of my bestseller list are my family, friends, and fans. One for one, and all for you.